All right, welcome back. This is the Morning Smoke. I'm your host, Mello Miller, with my co-host, the underscore Truth 1987. And we have a special guest with us, Miss Kiwi. I'll put it at that. Look, I don't know you. You're just a guest on the show. Co-host, what's the problem?
Oh, nothing. I just
No,
wanted to
I,
know.
I see your face. I
No,
see your
nothing.
face.
I just wanted to see if there was a lightning bolt that was free to pop down real quick. I didn't know. I had to check the sky. I'm sorry, my fault. You good? Nothing. Just
Look here, America.
weather related stuff.
This is my beautiful oldest daughter, and I'm so happy. I've been having wanting her to come on the show for at least a year, and she's so busy. She travels. She do everything under the sun, and so I'm glad to finally get her on here. I did want to talk to you. Um, Look, we talked earlier in the first segment about someone that you grew up near and not so dear, but and that you're from Bloomington, Indiana, home of the Indiana Hoosiers, and Bobby Knight, a controversial, love him or hate him type figure.
Man.
You were born in his prime, the early 90s. And what are your thoughts about what we were talking about? Anything stand out that was really crazy before we go into anything else? I had to get your take on it, Miss Bloomington.
All right. So, growing up in Bloomington, basketball, I mean, it's Hoosier Nation. So everybody's about that life. Everybody knows what time it is. They know the coaching's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. You
Yeah.
might have condition. You might have 2-a-days, 3-a-days in the gym. They were conditioning us to go to the WNBA.
Yeah.
You do school ball, okay, but if you do school ball and then AAU, they expect that of you, so they train you as such. And never, I feel like personally, wasn't really a question I was ever asked. It was just, yeah, that's what you're doing, type of thing. So when I got a little bit older, and I was like, man, like this is hard on my body. Like I'm not able to partake in the things that I want to in this experience of high school. I want to go sing. I want to go be in musicals. I want to do those things, and I can't for something that I was always told that I have to do. And I feel like that comes a lot from there's so much pressure. If you play basketball in this state, they want you're the story. You're the legend. You're the icon. You're the new XYZ. Like they want you to be that person so bad. But I feel like personally, no disrespect to the parents, but you gotta let them live their own life. Don't project too much.
That fan base that you're talking about, that hysteria, that's what led to Bobby Knight really getting away with so much of what, because he produced. IU is one of 6 colleges in men's basketball that have won 5 championships. They're a blue blood, what they call program, meaning a staple program of college basketball. They're up there with your Kansas is, UConn now co-host. They got 5.
Duke is up
Duke,
there.
North Carolina, UCLA, Kentucky. Those are the 6. That's it.
Yep.
And IU is right there. And so it took a lot to get such a legend with that kind of fan base out of there. But you know what? In the end, IU did the right thing. The times had changed. His antics had grew more courageous, where he had got more emboldened.
I'm gone.
And let's just say that it was
I'm
time. He had to
I'm
go.
gone.
Listen,
I'm
listen.
gone.
This is what I will say. I've had coaches where I respected them, and I felt more encouraged. I felt more motivated to excel based off of the criticism and feedback they gave me before I ever felt like I felt more motivated because I was humiliated and publicly shamed and verbally abused by a coach. That never motivated me personally as an athlete. But the person that was like, yeah, you need to do better, but let me show you the steps so you can take them, so you can achieve that. And let's check back in and see if you met them. If not, let's fix that and let's make a different game plan. Like that was what motivated me. Somebody that was willing to work with me, that saw my potential, but wasn't upset with me because I wasn't that A1 star. I wasn't that automatic diamond when I was still in the dirt.
I'll close this out on this, co-host. I said it before. I'll say it again. I would send your brothers there. I would send my sons to play for Bobby Knight, but I would not send my daughters if he was a woman. I would not do that. I just two different things for black
That's so
men.
that's very interesting because I had several coaches that took his approach
And I would
when I
and I
was
would have
growing up.
and I just dislike that for the young ladies, but for the young men, to face the challenges that a black man, their journey's different than a black woman's journey. But for that black man, you survive Bobby Knight, you'll be a man ready to take on the world,
Hey,
and
but
I'll
that
be ready
doesn't
to
mean
take that.
You'll
that doesn't
you'll also be a free man too.
yeah, but
S-
that also doesn't
so
mean that the black
I
boys
just
don't
want to
need
throw that. I just want to throw that up.
reassurance and love
You
too
be a
at the
free
same
man.
time. Give that tough love. Give
Yeah,
that tough love and that
yeah.
style, but also don't make them feel like they're desolate and they're a failure if they don't meet that. Show them how to be better. That's my
I,
biggest thing. Show them how to get there.
The world, for men, do not care about that part, unfortunately. But listen, this is a whole different. I can talk about this all day. Men, the world cares about results, and you do it or you don't. A lot of that pat on the back and stuff, that's a new age way that maybe some men get the benefit of, but most men do not get that benefit of. Toxic, the culture, whatever you want to call it. So that's just the way it is. But I did want to talk to you about, speaking of experiences, we'll segue over to this. My beautiful daughter is a model, and you have done some amazing work. Some of her things, I just fall in love with every new set that you do. It's you do great. But I do want to ask you, because we ask the tough questions on this show. What challenging? We're talking about like going to experience of Bobby Knight that may not. What kind of experiences have you had in the modeling world that were like you didn't expect to get into this and that, because that's a tough industry.
Yeah. So, I think the biggest thing when that question comes to mind for me, is when I was first starting out and I was more so looking for exposure, just kind of trying to get my image, my name out there. So unfortunately, there's this very unhealthy relationship with models and runway fashion shows where models are often asked to do the utmost and extreme to get no payment or very little in return. But when you're first starting out and someone wants you to wear their designer collection, like it sounds amazing, it sounds really, really cool. And I remember one of the first times that I moved to Indianapolis and I signed up to do this runway show. I went and auditioned in front of several people. This specific designer picked me out to wear her designs. And I get there the day of. I'm told there to get there at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. in the morning. Mind you, the show doesn't even start till 6 p.m. People do not get to walk through the doors until 5 p.m. So I get there. So it's a lot of waiting around. And like I said, at that time I was new to this. So I didn't have any snacks. I didn't have a phone charger. I didn't know what to expect. I'm here. I've got my little accessories. I've got my heels and I'm ready to go. But I found out very quickly, um, it really depends on one, if you have been in an inner circle for a while, at least in Indianapolis, it tends to be a little bit cliquey with artists, I've noticed personally. But depending on your shade of skin, they don't have the products for you. Depending on how you come with your hair done, even if the person who designed the clothes said wear your hair like this, that does not mean the person that's the hairstylist is going to let you leave her chair like that. So the first time I got a makeup shade put on me that was probably 3, 4 times way too light because they didn't have the products to match my skin. And the next time I remember, unfortunately, was the production by a cast in this city that insisted that even though I auditioned with my afro, my natural hair, I practiced and did all the runway rehearsals with my natural hair, that I had to have my hair flat ironed and straightened into a 60s hairstyle for this show. So I agreed and I did it. And I ended up having to cut some of my hair out on the sides because it never would grow back to my natural hair pattern. So it comes with a lot. Decide what you want to do because some of that stuff you can't get back. And I wish so much that I would have put my foot down at that time and said, no, you know what? I'm grateful to be a part of this production, but there's my hard boundary. No, I will not alter my hair. Because, mind you, I had auditioned for this in, let's say, May of a year. The show didn't take place until the following June the next year. So I'm rehearsing, I'm doing all this stuff, and then last minute you tell me, I've seen you, I know what you look like, but I need you to be like this, and that's the only way you can be in the show. So after all that time and effort put into it, you're like, yeah, I'm
You
gonna do
feel
it.
the
I mean,
pressure to
I've spent almost a year
Yeah,
dedicating my life to
yeah.
it. So
Already there, all that good stuff. Yeah, it makes
You
sense.
know what's funny is co-host, and I'll turn this to you. How many times have we had people on? I asked them various things that will impact the listeners that they may be experiencing this, right?
Hmm.
Are you
Hmm.
going to go through that? So one of the things I took from that is these are real challenges that I've heard, right? These are real challenges I've heard. But what she said was you've got to set your boundaries. There are
Hmm.
some opportunities that just may not be the opportunity for you
mhm.
because that price may be too high. How many
Yeah.
times we talked about this, Coles? It don't matter what it is. We've talked about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about what's important to you at the end of the day, regardless of what industry you're in. You gotta set those hard boundaries. I agree with that for sure.
We,
Um,
we covered a runway for my true. What is it?
my true brand.
My True Brand.
Yep.
My co-host went and we covered that event. Great experience, but you gave me certain insights where some of those women were experiencing like waiting around. They was there so early. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
craziness, man.
Unfortunately, what I have come to realize, and you can search it on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever, Facebook, whatever platform you want to find, but you will find a page that says don't pay the runway because they ask us, they will send us messages asking for $4,000, $5,000 so you can walk in New York Fashion Week. So you can walk in this fashion week here, there, LA, wherever. But they want you to pay not just for your plane and hotel, not just for your food. They want you to pay just to have the experience with them, knowing good and well they would not have a collection walking down the runway at all if it wasn't for models.
Should be the opposite.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
it
should
absolutely
be the
is.
opposite.
And it took me a little bit to figure that out, but once I did, I stopped doing runway like 3 years ago.
Speaking of
I don't do it. It's
speaking of Fashion Week and some of those things, I did want to ask you. What are, I mean, you've traveled doing this stuff. What are some interesting places that you've been? Because I mean, that's one of the opportunities models get is to go and do different things. What you did a wedding where you performed, and that wasn't necessarily model. That was just your other talent. She could sing too. So she ain't just pretty. She ain't just doing your model. She could sing too. Co-host. I ain't trying to. I'm a look.
You
Let's
gotta
put
talk
it.
her up. She's your daughter. Do what you do.
I'm still looking for working out the. I gotta get my daughter away. I won't. Never mind. We'll work that out another time. I've talked about that. What
Do
they
what you
call it,
gotta do.
a dowry.
Anyways, so you're talking about travel in general. I love to travel. My expertise, what I went to school for is tourism, hospitality, and event management. So once I graduated, it came natural to me. It's like, oh, you guys are talking about going out the country. Let me plan the trip. Let me find the Airbnb. Let me find the hotel. Let me see what restaurants, excursions. Let me budget it out. So you know how much it costs per person before you even book a ticket, so you know how to plan properly to save for it. Or so you acknowledge, hey, I do want to do this, but maybe it's not right now. And that's okay. And that's also why a lot of these girls be going to Miami and falling out, but I'm going to leave that alone. Anyways, the
There is
point,
a whole culture down there in Miami of of women that get into they go down there for one thing, they end up doing something else.
I believe that.
Definitely healthy form. One of the major cities near us that is pretty big in fashion in a certain way is Chicago.
yeah.
I don't know if you ever been to Chicago?
I love Chicago. My favorite part of Chicago is traveling on the transit or taking like a nice taxi or Uber so you can sightsee. That's my favorite part about it because the streets are pretty rough, especially if you have like heels on. So,
That's understandable. That's understandable. Yeah, if you go to Chicago, you definitely want to go around and see the various sites, and they're spread throughout. Yeah, they have a.
oh, my other thing is like if you get takeout and like you're just gonna walk back to your place, Uber back to your place, take the transit back to your place, if you can see the moon and the stars from your little fire escape, you should eat it out there. It's super romantic.
Yeah, I mean that definitely would be romantic. Take it out there. I wouldn't want to. I want that moon right in front. You got your lady next to you. Got you. You know what I mean? That sounds about right. You right. You right. Um, let me get some. I don't know. Anyway,
We're the
with that being
Millers.
said,
I tell you
co-host, you
that.
got anything or?
Oh, we're the Millers. Never mind. Keep going. I'm sorry, my fault. Keep going. No comment right now. I know. I mean, did you need me to say something? I'm sorry. I'm a little thrown off at the moment. Um. Yeah. I guess I got a question. I got a quick question
Hmm.
for Miss Kiwi. What are some upcoming plans for you? Anything on the horizon you got coming up or?
Oh, absolutely. So, currently I work for a luxury chocolate tasting room. So some of the things that I've been helping them with, they serve warm chocolate. So that's more of like a fall to winter thing, you know?
Yep. Yep.
So my goal has been how do we make ourselves as a business appealing in the summertime, right? So outside of the chocolate, they have a lot of other products. I was like, why don't we mix some of these products and make some frozen slushies? Why don't we do a little lemonade stand to have a full glass garage door in their storefront? I'm like, why don't we just lift that up and do a little lemonade stand? If you're walking past with your dog, get a slushie. But how about since chocolate is the number one thing, we make fudge pops? Why don't we encourage people to come in and make their own fudge pops with whatever toppings they want in them or on them, around them? How can we make this business profitable when your goal is more so aligned with fall to winter? So that's some of the things I've been working on. And then also, my love wanted to see me, so I'm going to see her this weekend. Outside of that, that's it.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
Speaking of that, co-host, I'm gonna say this:
Hey, show
you're glowing, love.
show man. Show.
You're glowing, love. I love your hair. I mean, something. You speaking of going to see your love. Well, your love has got you really glowing. I can't say that I've seen this level of happiness. So what I would want to say is to my look. I don't know how to say it. My soon to be daughter in law, probably. I mean, these two glow. They light up the room. I'm just speaking into existence. Miss Dakota, what job well done. Whatever you're doing to Miss Kiwi, she's just different. She's healthy. She is. You're doing great things. So I thank you. I thank you. But one thing I don't want. I just want to ask one last question. One last question. Um, co-host, this is I don't know. Give me just a second. This
This is your show.
this Father's Day this year. You know what my gift from my daughter gonna be?
I'm
She
listening.
going she gonna leave me and move across the country this June. Um, so like happy Father's Day to me, I guess.
She's sound like she got the right idea. I'm almost ready to go. But
I,
keep
I'm
going.
I'm
I'm
being
sorry.
left. I don't know what it
You know,
is.
real G's move in silence like lasagna, Michael. So
Well, I feel like cold lasagna right now.
You got a
Co-host, I don't know. Happy Father's Day to me. So
you got an extra bag because I might be gone too after
you want to
this.
go there? You,
listen,
Arizona. Hey, look,
I got the
Arizona is a
space.
great place if you've
I
never
got the
been.
space carved out when anybody wants to come see me.
Nah, I'm
Family
just
is the utmost importance to me. So
nah.
whatever, if anybody's ready, then please, I receive you with the biggest,
I
open,
just
widest arms.
nah. I just want to leave Michael. I'll find a place.
no, let's get some clearance. I mean, some clarity on this real
Some
quick.
clarity, yes.
some clarity on this. There is space, but please don't say anyone, because there's some admirers of you that may want to come visit. And so I don't know. Let's keep that low key. Not everybody can come see you.
Not everybody can see me in the city that I'm in, so it would only be natural that they couldn't see me in the next.
Anyway, love, I appreciate you coming on. Unfortunately for the radio, because we could talk all day long. Folks, I think that my daughter will be back on the show. She'll talk about any range of topics. She's very smart. She's intelligent. She knows a lot about a lot of things. So this is not the last time you're going to see Miss KiWi. And go follow her. Go follow her on her social. What are your social medias, baby? Because you put on a good show.
Yes, the THE official KiWi on Instagram. Find me on Facebook on the same page, and you might, if you have one, find me on TikTok under the same handle.
Yeah, and she has great content. So anyway, co-host, it's it, man. Every Monday this comes to an end, no matter how much fun we having.
I'm gonna take my glasses off for this. I'm gonna just take my glasses off. Is it time to close out? I'm sorry, I didn't know.
It's time to close because she's new to that. Most people don't close. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and do just like I guess KiWi was talking about. Just walk on out of here. Meanwhile, thank you so much for listening with us this week. I'm sorry, thank you so much, everyone, for listening with us this week. We definitely appreciate it. Tune in for this next week. I'm not sure if I'll be here, but tune in next week, every Monday from 10 to 11 a.m. Definitely come listen to us on JQLM Radio. We're also on Spotify, Anchor.fm, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Morning Sport Podcast. Come check us out. We are definitely there. Yeah. Thank you. But till next week, I'm gonna pull a Shannon Sharp. I don't know if I'll be here next week. Peace out. Hey,
put your glasses back on. Peace out.
Love you guys. Be safe.